It is a brand new edition of Hockey and Hounds. John Tortorella and Jason Martinez. Hockey and Hounds presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. We've got a great dog to talk about this week, and you had a visit to the shelter, which I really want to get into.
Yep.
Where I want to start is here, though. I'm going to assume, you can tell me if this is a safe assumption or not. I don't like to assume, but I'll do it, that you didn't teach Owen Tippett how to score that goal when he got to the NHL. Is that a safe assumption?
Yeah, that is one of I've been fortunate to be in a while. It's one of the greatest goals I've seen. And I said after the game, and I even think Tip kind of alluded to it, he doesn't even know, he's not trying to do that. He's instinctive. He just did it.
Yeah.
And it was in probably one of the best games I think our team has played, that kind of capped it as far as how we kind of finished it for us.
His signature moment.
Yeah.
It's maybe, so far in the season. But the reason I ask that is because when players get to you, you're not teaching skill development per se, but the most important thing I believe in development is when the player gets to you is they understand how to practice, how to have self-accountability. You can't police them all the time on accountability, but those things which can take their skills to the next level, then play within the team unit. Is that a big part of the job? And is that a big part of the growth you've seen this year?
Yeah. I and I'll put it under the heading of what it is to be a pro. How you come to the rink, how you present yourself when we're having a meeting. Some guys are just kind of looking through you. Or are you really paying attention? How you practice, how you are on the plane, all through what it is before you even get on the ice, I think so important as far as being a quality National Hockey League player. So that's one of the biggest things we teach. And on ice, it's a lot of the teaching we go through is away from the puck, is just our foundation of how we play away from the puck and coverages. And the offensive part, I think Rocky's brought a little bit of some great thoughts to us this year and how you can manufacture some goals.
Some creativity.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But when it comes to just playing and being instinctive, like TK, that's his whole game, is just being instinctive. And he's so not afraid to make a mistake with his instincts. That's why he's such a good offensive player. So we let him go with that. So I guess that's the way I'll answer it.
When I see, Tippett try those things, I know that you can feel his confidence in just the willingness to try those things on instinct. But as part of that, because you've talked a lot about the locker room from day one when you got here till recently, that's about being a good citizen in that locker room, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a respect. I think a lot of people respect Tip in there. I think Tip respects the hierarchy in that room. We lose a bad one against Ottawa, but I trust our team. We play a really good team. Tampa coming up, and I'm not sure if we win or lose, but I know we'll play the right way. I know we'll answer the proper way. I think that's respecting what we're trying to do here as an organization, and I think we've really made huge strides in that area of our game, if you call the locker room the game.
Yeah, the way your team has responded all year. I mean, there's been moments this year, whether it's the San Jose loss, when they get their first win, you have these inflection points, right? And you guys have, the West Coast trip to Alberta, and you come back and you've got 4 losses in a row, but then you answer that with 5 wins in a row. I think sometimes people need to understand that this isn't an NFL season.
Yeah. And
there are ebbs and flows, but you always got to, those guys believe in themselves to pull themselves out, don't they?
Yeah, it's a key. You and I always talk about momentums in the games. There's momentums in the season too. There's swings that go through there. Like I watched us play against Dallas a few games ago. I haven't coached a team play that good for a long time. Everything worked and we were dead on. I thought we played really good against Colorado. Gave up a few too many chances, I thought, but Colorado is a pretty good offensive team.
And McKinnon had something to say about that.
Yes, he did. But I still thought we played a really good game. In fact, I thought we were the better team. But then we come in and we played in spurts the first half against Ottawa. third period, we lost ourselves. We could not get on our toes. They grew in confidence as the game went on, and I thought we lost it. But I think we understand, I think we understand how we have to answer, and that's how you get the momentum back on your side within the game or within the season. It's such a long year that we can't spend too much time dwelling. And I can really, that's where I really trust our team, is I don't have to spend too much time dwelling, because I think they evaluate pretty good, and we just get it ready for our next game. And that's what we have coming with Tampa.
The 11-7, you're in a predicament here, and you've been in predicaments as a coach throughout your career. This is a tough one, because who do you pull out on the blue line?
Yeah.
Zamula comes out with a 3-point game, and he's playing just a real simple, straight-ahead game. He's not overthinking anything, and you see how well he's playing. You got Cam, you have this numbers game. It's very difficult to deal with. You guys got to get to this All-Star break, and really kind of everybody's going to need to recharge. What are they going to need to do to step away? Because when you come back after the All-Star break, it's a stretch drive.
Yeah.
It's really important hockey.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. And that's where I think we've practiced 2 days in the month of January. There's been so many games and travel. We won't practice the rest of this week. We got to cut 3 more games, but we will not practice. So we're just trying to get there and be as best as we can be. Those 7D, and I feel bad for Stalzy. Stalzy is the 8th now. When we traded for Jamie, first thing I did was call Stalzy. I said, Stalzy, this kind of puts you in a little bit of a jam, because now I think you're number 8. And he knew going in how he was going to be handled, but still, he's a competitor and has not played much. I can't take out any of the 7D. I think all of them are playing that well.
Yeah.
It gives me a little bit of an opportunity with the 11 forwards to double up. Like I was doubling up Tip. Tip plays better when I double shift him. And now, Tyson scores. I might give him some more ice time. Cam's beginning to go. I get a chance to give him more ice time. So it's tough, but it's also opened up my eyes where I can give some guys at the forward position a little bit more looks in offensive positions throughout the game as far as double shifting. And
with some different combinations. You never know when you're going to catch like this perfect combination that comes together, and you go, I didn't think these two players would work together. Look at these guys.
That's how it works, Jason. Don't let any coach tell you, I knew this guy would work with that. That's bullshit. You try things and I didn't expect that. Yeah, let's go with it for a while. And that's how it works.
It's funny because sometimes you attach 2 forwards together and just rotate that third as the dynamic piece. And that will change several times in a season. Let me ask you about Tyson Forster, because sometimes getting a young player to be what he is a difficult part. This guy goes to coaching the mind. He has that goal on Saturday last week. It's just a beautiful shot. And then Sunday you're without Tip, and you're going, we need a shooter in there. He doesn't give you a shot on goal in that game. Do you want to go to him and say, fire it? I want 8 to 10 shot attempts in that game.
I've talked to, although Morgan Frost has made a lot of really good plays, I still like to see him shoot more. I've told the whole team that let's look to get in the 40s each and every night, getting some shots on goal. And especially at this time of year where we're just trying to play straight ahead. We've played so many games. We're trying to keep our game simple. Let's throw pucks on the goalies. And and I gave Tyson a little extra time because he scored a goal. Tips out. I said, you know what? I'm going to try to give Tyson some time here because a goal scorer scored. Maybe he'll get another one and get some going. Didn't work out that way. I think it helped Cam. I got Cam a little bit extra time. He's around the net. He's bringing more offense to us. So Tice is, but I'll say with him, he is so far ahead of some of our other younger guys because it's just his play away from the puck.
Awareness.
He's got such a good stick, and he's so responsible. I've played him with Lots and Garney a lot here of late, and I can use them to play against any top line and also get a little bit of offense too from them. And,
shutdown line.
Yeah, because they can. Yeah, and he's strong enough to do that at such a young age.
It's interesting because your guys go to the net, so you want to get the puck there. I look at a guy like Joel Farabee, and I'm looking back at all the way since the beginning of December. You put him on the bench for pretty much an entirety of a game because he didn't listen. And you guys were having some structural issues at the time. But how a player responds, I think, is always fascinating. How are you going to respond to the moment where you work the door for the entire game? Well, since then, Torts, he hasn't gone back-to-back games without a point.
Yeah.
It's now 22 games. He's got 26 points in that time. 98% of his goals are scored within 3 feet of the goal line. I think the other one the other night was the first one was a shot from distance. Yeah. And it was a beautiful shot off the bar. But talk about Joel Farah, because this is a player, I imagine as a coach, you love when you know, if this guy didn't end up on the score sheet tonight, he's going to be on it in the next game.
Yeah.
What's that?
You know, I look at the situation Joel and I went through early in the year when I sat him. I saw him. It's funny how it works. I see him walking down the hallway in our locker room, long hallway, and him and I are the only ones there. I'm walking one way, he's walking the other way. It's funny how it works. And we just kind of nodded, and he didn't ask for a meeting. It was none of that.
Unspoken.
Yeah, unspoken. And I remember saying to him, I said, "Be ready to go." And those are the only words I spoke to him after being sat pretty much the whole game. I was mad. There was things we went over numerous times, and he goes out and makes that mistake that it's unacceptable.
Violated a non-negotiable.
Yes, it was. And not just for him, but when you got to remember, when you're coaching the player in that situation, sometimes it's not just the player you're coaching the whole team too, because I don't want them to be doing it. But Joel sucked it up, didn't say a word, pissed off. He sat the whole game. Yeah. And
he's embarrassed.
Yeah. He's got a number of things going on in his head about me, but he ate it and he's played. And as I've always said about Joel when I first came here and I watched some tape on him, he's an important guy because I can move him in all different areas. Yeah. And I have done that this year. He'll start with Coots and TK tonight. He played really well for a number of games with them.
You earned it.
He earned it.
Yep.
And then I played Tip there one night when it wasn't going. Tip started playing well with him. So Joel went to another line. I used Tip there. That's the greatest thing about Joel is he can check, he can score, and he can be utility. Yeah. A very important guy when you're dealing with a 20-man roster.
I think at some point he's going to be a PK guy for you.
He will.
Because he's got the will.
He will. We have got, we brought in some people that can kill penalties, pails and half, and change a little bit of dynamic for ice time for some guys. But Joel kill penalties too before it's all said and done.
Yeah, to be able to rely on that. And young player too. He had this development is never just straight line up. You don't just take incremental steps. 20-goal season year 2 in a shortened season, and then a little bit of a dip. But now he's back on the rise, and that's great to see.
And he's going to get stronger, Jason, too. Yeah. He's still a young man.
Yeah,
missed a whole, really whole summer of working out because of the neck problem.
Yeah. He was behind the 8 ball the entire year, wasn't he?
Right from day one, yeah. But now he's going to get stronger and he's going to get better.
Yeah, he's been a big bright spot for you guys. Let's get to our dog this week. Now, first and foremost, you went to the shelter. You've met this dog, actually. Yes. So I'm going to show you the video. It starts out with a picture of you there with this beautiful Gucci girl.
Yes.
Is the dog's name, a 9-year-old mixed breed pup who was surrendered to the city shelter when her previous family moved out of state and arrived at Paws shortly after. Now, she's quickly headed into foster care, which is great that she's going into foster care immediately, where she's been, her loving and very spunky self, which is awesome. A dream dog, easygoing senior with a full heart of gold, very sweet looking dog.
Oh yeah, and she is, because we did meet face to face. She is full of personality too. She was speaking the whole time we were there. We went for a tour and just a fantastic facility. First time I've been there. Fantastic people. And she wanted to join the tour with us. She didn't want to leave the office area there. And she was letting us know she wants to be around us. So it was a great visit with her. Fantastic dog.
She's like, I'll lead the tour. You follow me. So in her previous home in Foster, she did do well with other dogs. So that's a key component for anybody looking to grab her. And she spent the rest of her gold. She's got, she's a 9-year-old dog. So she is a senior dog. We'd prefer not have to climb a lot of stairs. I'd prefer I don't either at this point. She does have some arthritis, but she still loves getting out for walks and loves to just communicate and be with people. And that's just a great dog to have.
Yeah. When I met her, she certainly didn't act like a senior dog. I mean, she was full of energy. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
And, I mean, her personality, she was just so, she was speaking the whole time we were there. So that's if someone grabs a hold of her, that is a find as far as an adoption. So yeah, I wish her good luck and she finds her forever home.
Now, if you are interested in taking Gucci Girl home, you can email adoptions@phillypaws.org. Again, adoptions@phillypaws.org. And people, I noticed your sweatshirt in the video, the Hockey and Hounds sweatshirt. They're beauties, by the way. Yeah. The sweatshirts are great. I've sent a few people over already. You can go to the Hockey and Hounds homepage at philadelphiaflyers.com/hockeyandhounds. How was the visit to the shelter?
It was great.
Does it lift you up?
Yeah. When I go in there into shelters, I get nervous because I hate seeing animals caged up and just in distress. But man, it was totally opposite. They had quiet time for the cats. They have certain times the dogs just need a little quiet to themselves. They just put a towel over a blanket to let them sleep. It was such an environment of being in a home.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of racket, a lot of noise. And the thing that was so encouraging to me was just I don't have the stats in front of me, but the dogs move. Yeah. They come in and they're out. They're being fostered and adopted so quickly. So for someone that just, it just worries me in shelters that you don't see the real dog when people go check them out. They're moving them in and out of there. So that's just great news as far as how that shelter works.
Yeah, the team over at Philly Paws, I mean, they just care so much.
Oh, God,
they're doing everything to make it as, not stressful for the animals as they can. So we encourage people. I mean, people have been with this Hockey and Hounds have been doing such great work, and we're not done. We need more. So people need to go. Again, if you're interested in Gucci Girl, adoptions@phillypaws.org. Go to the Hockey and Hounds homepage at philadelphiaflyers.com/hockeyandhounds. Pick up some merchandise. It all helps, which is great. And we're going to keep going until as long as it takes. So Gucci Girl, an absolute beauty. Getting to this All-Star break, how does everybody step away and recharge?
Yeah.
Everybody's probably different.
Yeah. Everybody goes different ways. And, I remember back in the day when I was a younger coach, you'd always remind them, make sure you're working on your conditioning but you know what? I think I've learned you need to let them totally get away. They're going to condition. They're going to work out. Yeah. And I don't want to insult them that way, but I do think the mental part of the game, it's been a grind. Every team has a hard schedule.
Yeah.
We've gone back and forth west a few times, and in the month of January, the amount of games we've played, I want them totally away from it. And because I think you get a better product when you come back in, when you get to this last third of the season. And, we got a pretty good record right now. We're in the fight.
There.
Yeah, we're in the fight. And I just want our energy. And before it gets physical, it's the mental recharge you need before you can get back.
Emotional, right?
Yeah. It's mental.
Yeah.
Because you cannot get anything done physically unless you're cleared up and refreshed mentally.
Back in the day, you had to remind guys to stay in shape. That's different now.
You don't.
These guys are freaks.
Oh, these guys, they have an entourage around them. So, and that's what it's good sometimes, just to remind them to work out. And it's a different athlete. They're so competitive and they're so ready to do that stuff.
Yeah.
It's different. Back in the day, you'd have to prod them and threaten them sometimes.
Yeah.
Total different athlete right now.
You want these guys to come back and ready to finish the job. They've put themselves in position. Those players do it by the record. Yeah. Now it's time to finish the deal.
Yeah. And they're meaningful games, Jason. And I don't know where we go. I like I said, everybody keeps that. I'm making no predictions. I just want us to play as many meaningful games as we possibly can, because that's what helps us in developing these younger players.
Yeah, and evaluating.
Yeah, absolutely, in those situations.
That's another edition of Hockey and Hounds, brought to you by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live with John Tortorella. I'm Jason Martinez. Have a great day, everybody.